Meet Alex. Everyone says Alex is charming. His boss loves him. His friends admire him. His girlfriend is convinced she's found the perfect man. But give it 6 months, and every one of them will describe a completely different person. How can one man create such opposite experiences in the people around him? Let's find out. Alex starts a new job on a Monday morning. By lunchtime, half the office already likes him. He tells the perfect joke at the perfect moment. He compliments the intern's presentation. He remembers that Sarah from accounting has a birthday on Friday. Tuesday, he shows up with coffee for the whole team. No occasion, no reason, just generosity. People don't just like Alex, they trust him. Weeks go by like this. Alex stays late to help a coworker finish a deck. He's the one who smooths things over when a client gets tense. He's invited to everything: lunch, happy hour, the group chat. By month 2, if you asked anyone in that office to name the person they trust most of them would say the same name: Alex. Then, one ordinary Thursday, something small happens. In a team meeting, the manager praises someone else's work, not Alex's, a coworker named Maya's. It's a tiny moment. Most people forget it by lunch, but the camera doesn't look away from Alex's face. Watch closely. For exactly 1 second, his smile disappears. Nobody else in that room clocks it, but we do. Because to Alex, this isn't a small thing. Someone else got the spotlight. And Alex's sense of self depends on being the one people admire. So, quietly, something shifts. The next week in a one-on-one chat, Alex mentions, just in passing, that Maya's seemed a little stressed lately. A few days after that she took credit for some things that weren't really hers. Nothing is ever said directly. Nothing traces back to him. Just seeds, planted one conversation at a time. A month later, Maya notices people acting differently around her. Meetings she used to be looped into, she isn't anymore. Jokes land flatter. Eyes don't quite meet hers. She doesn't know why. She just knows something changed. Meanwhile, Alex is still the golden one. Still remembering birthdays. Still buying coffee. Because Alex was never lying about being generous. He's generous on one condition, that it keeps him at the center. This is the pattern. Not a cartoon villain twirling a mustache. Not someone who thinks of himself as the bad guy. Just someone whose sense of worth is so fragile it can't survive somebody else's spotlight. So what actually separates Alex from someone who's just confident? Let's break it down. Start with what this is not. Healthy confidence looks like feeling good about your own ability and still feeling genuinely glad when someone else succeeds. Your sense of worth doesn't shrink just because someone else's spotlight gets brighter. That's the baseline most people work from. Narcissistic traits describe a pattern, a persistent need to be seen as special, a real hunger for admiration, and genuine difficulty when someone else holds the room's attention. Quick note: everyone shows a few of these sometimes. That's just being human, not a diagnosis. The difference is whether it's the occasional exception or the whole operating system. One piece of that pattern is grandiosity, an inflated sense of importance. Not, I'm good at my job, but closer to, this team barely works without me. It isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. A private certainty that the rules everyone else follows don't quite apply. Another piece is the need for admiration. Not just liking praise, needing a steady supply of it to feel okay. Psychologists sometimes call this narcissistic supply. Compliments aren't a nice bonus here, they're fuel. And when that fuel runs low and or gets redirected to somebody else, the mask can slip. Which brings us to the part underneath it all: fragile self-esteem. Sounds like a contradiction. How can someone so confident-looking be fragile? But grandiosity usually isn't the opposite of insecurity. It's often built directly on top of it. Take the outside validation away, even for a moment, and the whole structure wobbles. So, back to Alex. Was he ever lying about being kind? Not exactly. The coffee was real. The compliments were real. The charm was real. What was underneath it? That's the part nobody got to see until someone else's spotlight got a little too bright. And that's really the whole lesson. The problem isn't confidence. The problem is when self-worth depends entirely on being seen as superior. Was Alex a narcissist or someone going through something? And if you're the one on the other side of this, how do you protect yourself? That's episode 2. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you've ever worked with an Alex, tell us in the comments. We read everyone.